Hi, and welcome to Dealing with Different. I am Adam Tilted, and today we are going to be talking about caring for children with disabilities. This is the show where you can get exposed to people who are different than you are, so that when you encounter somebody that is new or a situation that is new, you don't feel awkward and you're not worried about saying the wrong thing, doing the wrong thing.
Right.
So today I'm gonna bring in a friend of mine, Amber. She's gonna help us talk about us today. Hi, Amber. How you doing?
Hi, Adam. I'm good. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Can you tell everyone just a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Amber, and I'm a mom. My daughter her name is Chloe, and she will be 19 in January. So I manage an upscale women's intimates boutique here in Lincoln, Nebraska, and also help at a district level with some of the leadership. I love to read, and I met you, Adam, through Snapchat, which is awesome. Um, I know that you invited me to be on the show today because 5 years ago, my daughter, Chloe, was diagnosed with a rare medical condition called cerebral arteriovenous malformation, or AVM for short, in the left thalamus of her brain.
Can you hear us now? Can you hear us now? I think so. I think I muted out your intro.
My whole
Yeah. I can't tell because I can't go back since we're still live. But anyway.
the fun of life.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Thanks, Ashley. That would have been horrible if we gotten the whole show mute. Oh. So thank goodness for Ashley catching that now. Okay.
Yeah.
So you were telling us about your daughter, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things that drew me to your Snapchat was you were sharing a lot about the things that you were going through to make sure that you were getting the appropriate care and resources for your daughter. And I appreciated how frank you were about that. So I thought it would be a really good idea for other people to hear that as well. So how old is your daughter again?
She's
Okay,
18.
great. So for someone who has a young child that has a disability, and your daughter has had this from birth, yes? or no?
Well, that's the thought, is that it's something that you're born with. That's the science behind it to prove it isn't
Right.
100%. But the general consensus, like the general medical consensus, is that it's something that you are born
And in
with.
case I did mute it, can you tell us again? Tell us again about your daughter.
Sure. Oh, and I forgot to send you that snap. Um, yes. So she was diagnosed 5 years ago with a rare medical condition called cerebral arteriovenous malformation, or AVM for short. It is a tangled mass of blood vessels in the thalamus of the brain. Her diagnosis at the time, it was about 5 centimeters around, or the size of like a cutie
Yeah.
orange. Um, Through 2 rounds of brain radiation treatment surgery, it's called stereotactic radiosurgery. There has been some change in the size of the formation to about 3 centimeters at this time, but it's still very much present. And it is rare and life-threatening. So it can occur in the body anywhere that there are veins. So people have AVMs in brain, spine, various organs. I mean, really, it can be anywhere in the body where there's a vein. So, um, you know, the AVM that we are dealing with is in my daughter's thalamus, which is really the gateway to everything. It controls emotions, sleeping, wakefulness, um, decision making. It's really in the center to all of the brain activity.
Well, okay. So when did this start to manifest for your daughter?
When she was 12.
Okay. And that so that's I can't even imagine the thought process that must have been going through your mind. Not even considering the emotional impact, but the fact that now your daughter's going to need a different kind of support system. I think that's the scary part for a lot of parents who have children with disabilities. Is all of a sudden, I mean, no, there's no handbook to raise a child in the first place. But when you
Right.
have a child that has special needs, and especially the rare ones, um, I just cannot imagine what goes through your mind as a mom. Like you must be you know, what? Tell us a little bit about how did you get information? How did you find resources? How did you go about trying to adapt your life to this new situation?
Well, first of all, I worked hard for a diagnosis, and it took almost exactly 1 year from the first time that I brought her to see a doctor until we got a diagnosis. We went through just a variety of specialists and a battery of tests, and it was important for me as a mom to continue to advocate, because I know my daughter, I know my child, and I knew that we needed answers. We were blessed with a friend who brought some of the symptoms to our attention, and then eventually finding a chiropractor, actually, who said, that we needed an MRI of the brain, and within 2 hours of the MRI we had a diagnosis. And it's hard to process. I couldn't even spell it. um, Cerebral arteriovenous malformation, let alone and so then, the neurologist said, don't go online, don't go searching the internet for all the answers. And so,
Of
so I
course,
went
that's
online,
what you did. Yeah, of
and
course.
because it's not something that you can just find. There's no little pamphlet in the doctor's office. It's like, so you have an
Right.
APM, here are the things to do. And it was terrifying. It was terrifying. And so, it was just absolutely, it changes your entire um, center of being. Like, it's just moved. And everything shifts as a result. Um, and it certainly over the years has, shaken or had an effect on our faith, our finances, our supports, our relationships, like my career, education. I mean, there isn't an area of life that has been unaffected in some way.
I can certainly relate to
So,
that.
yeah. For me, I needed to talk and to communicate. And, we hosted fundraisers and I spoke with doctors in various hospitals around the country, and we were out in California. Um, I just really wanted to pursue every avenue that I can. The first step for me was information gathering, is just, you know, finding out all that I could, because we had to make some very major decisions in a very short amount of time. So, from the time she got her diagnosis to the first day that I had to sign the consent form for brain radiation surgery, everything went by really, really fast. And as a parent, you're forced to make these major decisions under direct
Right.
distress and in a quick amount of time. And so these are huge decisions that, at best you should have, lots of time to prepare and be of a sound mind. But I was blessed with the right medical team around it, and through those surgeries, we've been able to prolong her life. There are other symptoms that I am still continuing to find answers for and to help manage. But friends, social media, trusted medical providers that you can talk to. These are all steps that are helpful. And for me too, just my faith and my church network, church support has been invaluable.
And what about school?
So no one at any of my daughter's schools knew how to handle this, and everything was really deferred to me. And, we set up IEPs, and we tried a variety of adaptations and this or that. And I can't say with confidence that we found the exact right system in place to assist her in the best possible way. But I can say that we made every effort to identify and try things and be open to things. And then as a caregiver, you can do so much, because it's the person who's affected that has the ultimate, it's their body,
Right.
it's their
Right.
life, it's their. So you can present options and want to try certain things, but it isn't ultimately up to you. So it's also just accepting that, and that your loved one might be in a different place than you are, with how they're processing and coping and handling and managing things. So that can be hard too. But
Yeah. Well,
school.
go ahead.
She did graduate from high school and is a freshman in college this year, which is incredible. Working with Voc Rehab, and it's been another, a second full-time job for me to be an advocate and identify resources and raise awareness, and, not be afraid to keep looking for answers and not take no from people, or, it's the ACT denied the special request for accommodations. That was a challenge. We've had dealings with Social Security, and, having to miss school for appointments and having to be absent, and how that affects classes
Right.
and attendance and academic. There's just a whole host of other things that happen on top of it, let alone the fact that you're just trying to make it through the day with vibrance and strength.
Yeah. I can't
And I
imagine
think that's
it.
important. You don't have to have a smile on your face every day to do it. You don't have to feel like everything's okay and you're going to make it through and we got this. Like, it's okay if you don't got this for a little bit. It's okay to kind of rest in that feeling, as long as you don't unpack and live there.
I
You
like that
gotta.
a lot. I like that a lot. Because I feel that way too, even with my own situation. I feel like I gotta, put on the happy face, be the happy Adam, because I don't want to be the bummer. But sometimes it's just like, I just can't do it today, okay? Just can't.
You be the bummer.
Yeah.
because it sucks,
You
you
know?
know, and it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just how you move on from that. How you overcome it and just allowing yourself to, um, just allowing yourself that space to accept and process and grow.
Excellent.
Because yeah, if you don't, then you're not being
I
authentic.
did find
But
that image that you sent.
yay, thanks.
So, I have that up on the screen right now, covering my face.
Your
I'll
face.
see if I can post that in the comments. I should be able to, so that people can take a look at that and have a better understanding of what AVMs are. Because I had never heard of them before until hearing the story of your daughter. So,
She's incredible. She's just really dynamite, amazing, and brave, and um, just really she just goes through every day. I can't say enough inspiring and wonderful things about her. I'm very proud to be her mom, and I am happy to talk with anyone that needs extra support or encouragement. I am definitely not a how to do anything. Like I'm not a guide on the perfect way to function, but I can always share my experience and what I've learned, and I'm happy to at least be a support. And for me, because of my daughter's rare condition, I did find other moms and parents, online through an online community support network that to just listen, and to just say, you're not alone. I've been there. You can do this. Here's what we tried. Here's what worked. Here's what didn't work. And then, we had fundraisers in the community being supportive. For me, it was just talking through and processing, and people wanted, to know.
right.
So.
Well, thank you for sharing all of that with us and educating me on this.
A
Yeah,
little. Thank you.
It just shows that there are a lot of disabilities that people don't even know about. And we kind of focus on the big, the big ones and that's good. But we also need to be aware that there's a huge range of what people are going through. And I like what you said, you can be the bummer, but just don't unpack and stay there, so
Yes, that's
yeah. And also, I'm hoping that the viewers have learned something as well. And if people do want to reach out to you, Amber, where can they find you?
Oh, well, my Facebook will be I'm tagged in the post, and I can post my Snapchat code and Twitter information and everything under the
Excellent.
video. Great. Yeah. And then you have the snap that describes a little bit of the basics for that. And then I would just say to, continue to, if people can lift us up in healing and prayer. I believe in the power of that. It's important. And if I can pray for anyone watching, then please let me know how, because I would be happy to do that.
Thank you, Amber. I know that you have a lot of people on Snapchat that are in your corner, lifting you up. I'm one of them.
Thank you, Adam.
Great. Thank you again for being on the show. And if anybody has any questions for Amber or questions about AVM or even suggestions for a topic for a future show, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comments or send me a message. This show is for you, so I want to make sure that we are answering your questions. Amber, thanks again. I hope you have a great rest of the day. And
thank you.
I'll talk to you soon. All right. And everybody
Bye.
else, don't forget to be nice to each other.